Trump finally met someone who was not going to lay down and just accept whatever bullshit he was spouting off. He did an interview with Axios, and my God, I think this is the worst Trump's ever looked, ever. And that's a high bar to meet, but I think that's where we are right now. Because, I mean, it was almost comical. If we weren't talking about genocidal levels of death and destruction, this interview would be fucking comical. Me, myself, I love comedy so much. From as long as I can remember, I've been watching Comedy Central, stand-up specials. Comedy has been a huge part of my life, and I love it. I shit you not, this clip I'm about to show you, I've seen several clips from the interview, but this clip I'm about to show you, it is indistinguishable from a masterful comedy bit. I mean, just the timing, the way that they're going back, the banter, everything. It sounds like they're being, like Trump is being stupid on purpose. It sounds like that. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like this is a whole Saturday Night Live skit or a Mad TV bit, and you know they're trying to make light of the situation and we're joking around about it. That's what it sounds like. But he's dead serious, and it's stunning. It's jaw-dropping, and it should frighten everybody in this country, because the person who's supposed to be at the head of the response to this crisis is completely in denial and being obtuse on purpose, and won't even acknowledge the state of affairs that we're in right now, and it's trying to pretend like everything's fine. He's literally pretending like everything's fine. So I have the clip where they're talking about the coronavirus. It's about 3 minutes long. I think everybody needs to see this full clip. So I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna come back and break it down.
The point is, because we are so much better at testing than any other country in the world, we show more cases.
The figure I look at is death. And death is going up now.
Okay,
and it's 1,000 a day.
If you look at death...
Yeah, it's going up again.
Let's look.
Daily death.
Take a look at some of these charts.
I'd love to.
We're going to look.
Let's look.
And if you look at death...
Yeah, it's started to go up again.
One. Well, right here, the United States is lowest in numerous categories. We're lower than the world.
Lower than the world?
We're lower than
what is that?
Europe.
In what?
Look.
In what?
Take a look. Right here. Here's case death.
Oh, you're doing death as a proportion of cases. I'm talking about death as a proportion of population. That's where the US is really bad. Much worse than South Korea, Germany, etc.
You can't do that. You have
Why can't I do that?
You have to go by where. Look, here is the United States. You have to go by the cases. The cases.
Why not as a proportion of population?
When we have somebody. What it says is when you have somebody that where there's a case, the people that live from those cases.
It's surely a relevant statistic to say if the US has X population and X percentage of death of that population versus South Korea.
You have to go by the cases.
Well, look at South Korea, for example. 51 million population, 300 deaths. It's like, it's crazy compared to...
You don't know that.
I do. It's on
you don't know that.
You think they're faking their statistics? South Korea?
I won't get into that because I have a very good relationship with the country. But you don't know that. And they have spikes. Look, here's
Germany low,
9,000. Here's one right here, United States. You take the number of cases. Now look, we're last, meaning we're first.
Last? I don't know what we're first in. As a what?
Take a look. Again, it's cases.
Okay.
And we have cases... Because of the testing.
1,000 Americans are dying a day, but I understand on cases it's different.
No, but you're not reporting it correctly, Jonathan.
I think I am, but...
If you take a look at this other chart, look, this is our testing, I believe. This is the testing, Yeah,
we do more tests.
No, wait a minute. Well, don't we get credit for that? And because we do more tests, we have more cases. In other words, we test more, we have... Now, take a look. The top one, that's a good thing, not a bad thing. The top, Jonathan.
If hospital rates were going down and deaths were going down, I'd say terrific. You deserve to be praised for testing, but they're all going up.
They very rarely talk.
60,000 Americans are in hospital.
If you watch the news or read the papers, they usually talk about new cases, new cases, new cases.
I'm talking about death.
Well, you look at death.
Up.
Death is way down from where it was.
It's 1,000 a day. It was 2,500. It went down to 500. Now it's going up again.
Excuse me. Where it was is much higher than where it is right now.
It went down and it went up again.
But now it's going down again. It's going down in Arizona. It's going down in Florida.
Nationally,
it's going down in Texas. Take a look at this. These are the tests.
I mean, what is left to say? What is left to say? He met someone who finally was not just going to let his bullshit slide. They weren't going to go on to the next question. They weren't going to go on to the next topic. He dug the fuck in, and he was not letting go. He was not letting up on Trump on this one. And I have to say, this is some of the best reporting I've ever seen, or one of the best interviews of a U.S. politician I've ever seen. I mean, from watching that clip, you know everything you need to know about how fucking terrible our government has responded to this crisis and why we're in the situation we're in right now. Like, he is in such a state of denial. It's almost like a legit psychological problem. Like, he's being obtuse on purpose, and it's so clear because he's just running around in circles, and you know he got his staff find the very best charts and statistics that he could fucking muster, and to try to defend his position on this coronavirus. And none of that, it didn't mean a goddamn thing, because, and it's so clear that it's like, oh, it's not that he just doesn't know this stuff, or he doesn't know how bad the situation is. He's actively being obtuse on purpose. He's lying on purpose because he does not want to admit how bad he's fucking this thing up. There's no way he actually believes in his head, in his heart of hearts, there's no way he believes that the whatever fucking goofy ass statistic that he pointed at was the percentage of coronavirus people who have the virus versus the percentage of people who die is lower than some other countries, so therefore we are handling it better than anyone else in the world. There's no fucking way he believes that. When you see we have 150,000 deaths officially, there's no way he thinks that we're handling this better than anyone else in the world. So he just fucking he's just lying. He's just lying. There's no way he believes that. We have twice as many deaths as the country that has the second highest death total. That's how out of control it is. 1,000 people dying every single day officially. And the ease at which he just swats all of that aside. He fucking just bulldozes through that fact as if he didn't hear it. And he's just stuck on, well, in percentage of how many people have it and versus how many people died. I mean, we're doing so fantastic. It's better than anywhere else in the world, really. Like, come on. It's so fucking pathetic. It's so pathetic. I mean, I'm disgusted by this because all of this, like I said, the buck stops with him. These deaths, he's responsible for this. So the amount of disdain and just anger I feel for about Trump and how he's handled this, it's hard to put into words. But on a personal level, I mean, God, I almost feel bad for how pathetic and rattled he looked because he just doesn't, he cannot admit how bad he's fucking this thing up. And he's just grasping for straws anywhere he can fucking reach them to try to make the point that we're actually doing better than most people think, and it's way worse than some other countries. Boy, you should see those other countries. I mean, he even when the interviewer brings up how other countries have nowhere near the amount of deaths that we have, even though we have millions of people in the population, He brought up South Korea. He says South Korea has like 300 deaths officially. And Trump, I mean, it just reflexively tries to just swat it aside. Oh, well, how do you know that? He literally said, how do you know that? So what he was insinuating was, oh, they're lying about the numbers in such a dramatic way that they don't have 300 deaths. They might have as many deaths as we do. That's what he was trying to insinuate. And then when the interviewer pushed back, and Trump knew when he was digging himself into a deeper hole, he was about to start a whole other international incident by accusing one of the governments that are handling this crisis better than anyone else of a massive cover-up with absolutely no evidence. He knew that was too much and that was too weak. I'm not saying that. We have a great relationship with South Korea, so I would never just outright say they're making up the numbers. But how do you know that? Like, come on. He's so fucking pathetic. And this interview, it was so transparent. Everything about Trump was so transparent in this interview. And I have nothing left to say about this. This is... When will they actually start taking this serious? That's the question I want to know. Does the official death toll have to reach 1 million people, 2 million people before they actually take this seriously and do everything in their power to limit this virus, the spread of the virus, and to protect their own citizens? What will it take? Because 150,000 people, that is nothing to bat an eyelash at. That's nothing to scoff at and dismiss. That's 150,000 lives and their families just completely ended, disrupted, and for no reason. It did not have to happen. And they're still in denial, and they're still trying to gaslight people, and they're still trying to bullshit people at 100 miles per hour and pretending like everything's fine. There's nothing to see here. The emperor has clothes, and don't believe the fake news media. Don't believe everyone telling you that we have way more deaths than anyone else in the world combined. Don't listen to them. Don't believe your lying eyes. Listen to what I'm telling you. Listen to what the Trump administration is telling you. There's nothing to worry about here. Go about your daily lives. Go back to school. We're reopening the schools, and if you don't reopen, you're not getting federal funding. Go back to work, and if you don't go to work, we're cutting the unemployment. Everything's fine. And act like nothing's happening. What will it take for them to take it serious? I have no fucking idea. I'm at a loss for words. I cannot comprehend how outrageous. Forget about where we are in the world situation for a second, the coronavirus. I am at a loss. My jaw is permanently dropped at just how fucking terrible the response our government has been to this virus and to this economic crisis, which the economic crisis was largely created by them and their shitty response to the virus. So, I mean, I don't know how to end this. I don't know how to end this segment, but I'm just fucking irate.